Hi everybody, Finest Planet 1 here. Just a little personal chat with everybody out there in the world. I don't know who will listen to this or if anybody will hear it at all, but I wanted to share something with you. I picked up a book years ago, and sometimes I pick up books, I don't read them right away, but I decided to pick up the Daily Guidepost from 1978, and I just flipped it open. The author is Bauer, but it's on page 170, and I read this. It says, "Let the moment come when nothing is left but life, and you will find that you do not hesitate over the fate of material possessions." Written by Eddie Rickenbacker. And then I read the rest. I mean, there's a couple more things that Bauer, the author of Guidepost, wrote, and I can read that certainly in a minute. But I want to stop there because I wanted to find out who was Eddie Rickenbacker. That it was a very deep quotation, and I wanted to find what I could find online. So I came to this, which is by Sapulpa Times. It's spelled Sapulpa Times. And it's a story about Eddie Rickenbacker. And if you can just hold on and listen to this story, I'll find that you'll find yourself amazed as I was. Eddie Rickenbacker was a World War I flying ace whose exploits are legendary. A man of many talents, Rickenbacker was also a successful race car driver, an automotive designer, a government consultant, and a longtime president of Eastern Airlines. During his eventful life, it was twice reported by the press that he had been killed, when in fact he was still very much alive. One of those times occurred in 1942 during the days of the Second World War, when Rickenbacker and 7 others spent 24 days adrift in 3 small rafts in the South Pacific Ocean. Captain Eddie, as he was often called, was sent in to tour various air bases and deliver secret message to General MacArthur. Due to a navigational error, the plane drifted hundreds of miles. Sorry about that. Notification came in. Okay, navigational error. The plane drifted hundreds of miles off course, and the crew had to face the harrowing prospect of ditching the plane into the vast Pacific Ocean. The following is an excerpt from Rickenbacker's book, 7 Came Through. The instant Captain Cherry wheeled east, all of us accepted the inevitability of crash landing. We made ready and threw overboard everything that was movable. I helped Sergeant Alex pry open the bottom hatch of a tail, and between us we dumped all the high-priority mail into the blue Pacific. The toolbox, the cots, the blankets, the empty thermos bottles, the brand-new Burberry coat I had bought only a few weeks before in London, and the baggage, including a beautiful suitcase that the boys and girls of Eastern Airlines had given me for Christmas 2 years before. Then I threw out my briefcase bulging with papers of which no copies existed, papers that I had considered important. Let the moment come when nothing is left but life, and you will find that you do not hesitate over the fate of material possessions, however deeply they may have been cherished. Read that last sentence again. When nothing is left but life, material possessions lose their value. When you stand before God one day, the things that we worry and fret about, the things that we work and strive for, will no longer be of significance. All that will matter will be your relationship with Jesus Christ. It won't matter what kind of car you drove, how big your house was, how stylish your clothes were, how many parties you went to, how much money you made, or how big your bank account was. All that will matter will be your relationship with Christ. Many of the items in Rickenbacker's airplane seemed to hold tremendous value prior to that emergency. After that, however, those same items were quite disposable. Keep in mind that most of the things that we pursue and most of the things that dominate our lives are disposable too. Do you know Jesus Christ as your Savior? Let the moment come when all that stands in front of you is eternity, and all that will matter will be your relationship with Jesus. And that was written by Pastor William. And that's the story of who Eddie Rickenbacker is. Now, let me go on to tell you what the Daily Guidepost, and this is just a short little reading here underneath. Let the moment come when nothing is left but life, and you will find that you do not hesitate over the fate of material possessions. And this is what it says. Encircling walls were on the principal defenses of military powers during the city-state rivalries in ancient Greece. So it was that visitor to Sparta in those times was surprised by the absence of such protective barriers. "Where are your walls?" he questioned, and he asked incredulously. "I'll show you later," said the general, who was conducting his guest around the city. In the time they came high ground that offered a panoramic view of a vast plain below. Thousands of Spartan soldiers, and their armor gleaming, stood shoulder to shoulder, row upon row, seemingly endless. "There," said the general, pointing, "there are our walls. Every man is a brick." Security has always been a dominant concern of man. Protecting one's life, one's family, one's possessions, a heavy responsibility. But Christ urged his followers to put heavenly matters first, to put their treasures where moth and rust cannot corrupt, and where thieves cannot steal. And that can be found in Matthew 6:20. When you invest your life in spiritual instead of material things, you won't have to rely on walls or locks or safes or guards to protect your most valuable possession. That is, it is because your faith is thief-proof. And the last little thing that they write, "You are our protection, Lord, our security in every trial, our rescuer from every danger." God bless you. I hope that this touched your heart as it did mine. Thank you for listening.